Hi, welcome to this training on the XLOOKUP function. Now, the XLOOKUP function is the latest introduction of Microsoft into the Excel spreadsheet. The XLOOKUP function was introduced by Microsoft in August 2019, so it's still a relatively new function. And for now, it is still not available to all users except you are subscribed to Microsoft 365, that's the Office 365. The XLOOKUP function can do a lot of things, much more than the popular VLOOKUP statement and the HLOOKUP. It can actually do what HLOOKUP can do and do what VLOOKUP can do, as well as what the index and match functions can do. Now, this function has 6 arguments, 3 mandatory or compulsory arguments and 3 optional arguments. Now, I'm going to explain this one after the other. The first argument you have there, which is the lookup value. This is similar to the lookup value in VLOOKUP statement, which is what do you want to look for? What value are you looking for? Now, the next argument, which is also a mandatory argument, is the lookup array. Where do you want to look for that particular item? And the third and final compulsory argument is the return array. From where do you want that argument to be returned? What do you want to return within that selected range? Now, we have 3 other arguments which are optional. The first one is if not found. Now, the if not found is similar to if false argument in the VLOOKUP statement. In the event that the XLOOKUP is unable to see the value, the if not found saying what value do I return. Now, if I take my XLOOKUP, simplest way, I'm saying the first one, this is the first argument, which is the value to look up. The second argument is the return array, where to look for that value. And the third argument is if this is the third argument, which is return array, what to look for. And the fourth argument is the non-mandatory argument, if not found. In the event that that value is not found, what should I return? Now, we still have other ones. It is the match mode. That is the 5th argument. The match mode is requesting, do you want the exact match? This is also in the VLOOKUP statement and HLOOKUP statement. But this has other ones. If you take -1, it's saying exact match or next smaller item. 1 is exact match or next larger item. And you can even do the wildcard character match. These are features that Microsoft newly introduced to this powerful XLOOKUP function. The last argument there, which is also an optional argument, is the search mode. We know that the VLOOKUP usually searches from bottom down. It looks for the figure on the first column to the right, to the left, and looks rightward. Now, this XLOOKUP has the same ability to search from top to bottom, that's from the first to the last. It can also search from last to the first. This is a feature that VLOOKUP does not have. It can also do a binary search. If you've sorted your data in ascending order, it can do a binary search from top, and it can also do a binary search from bottom, having sorted your data in descending order. Now, we're going to look at our examples and see how this works. Let's look at the first illustration we have here. I've done very hypothetical data, students with their scores. Now, what I'm going to do here first, let me take out this. I've created a drop down here. We know how to create drop down. This is a very common thing we've done in some previous videos. Now, I just want to create a function here that when I select any particular candidate, I get the score in mathematics. And I'm going to use the XLOOKUP. Now, you can also use the VLOOKUP to do that, because I'm using this, which can also be the first column to the left. Now, what's our XLOOKUP going to do? We're going to say equal to XLOOKUP. Now, when I type my XLOOKUP, the first argument is lookup value. I'm going to look up this name, and I take my comma. Now, it's asking lookup array. Where am I looking for that name? I'm looking for that name in the whole of this column. This is where I'm looking for the name. And I take my comma. The next argument is return array. Where do you want me to go to return the next available thing or the item I'm searching for? And I'm saying I'm going to look for column under mathematics. So if I take that, I'm saying that you should search for a name and return the mathematics score. Now, those are the three compulsory arguments, which is what you're looking for, where to look for, and what to return. Now, I've entered the three compulsory arguments, and I'm just going to stop there for now, and I just press my enter key. So it seems that it means that this particular candidate has 33 mathematics. So if I just press any other name, I'll be seeing that the scores are changing. Let me take out this other one for now. We don't need this yet. Okay, cool. So I take out this one. So you notice that each time I change a particular student, I get the particular scores for his mathematics score. But now I want to get everything that is scored in the whole of that subject. So I'm going to come here and say equal to XLOOKUP. Now it's asking lookup value. I'm going to look up this value. I take my comma. The next thing is the lookup array. Of course, it's still going to be from here. This is the range where it's going to look up. I take my comma, and it's asking me return array. Where do you want me to return the answers from? This time, I don't want only mathematics. I want math, physics, chemistry, and biology. So I'm highlighting the whole of these three. Now I have completed my three arguments. I've gotten my lookup value. I've gotten the lookup value, and I've gotten where I want it to return from. So I just press my enter key. Now you can see that I have completed the three. Now if you were using VLOOKUP, you have to first of all do one and copy across. But with XLOOKUP, I just enter it as a range and it goes straight. So I'm going to just change this here. Now I have actually picked this particular data from here, so it's going to pick the same name. So I just come here, click this. You can see I have all the scores here. I pick another particular candidate and I have all the scores. Now that is how powerful the XLOOKUP is. Now if I change this, let me change this and insert it here. Now having done this, nothing changes in my answers. But you know, with VLOOKUP, the moment I shift that, the whole thing will scatter because I can't get the information anymore, which means XLOOKUP has the ability of looking up a particular value on the right and matching it to the left or to the right. Now we'll look at the next illustration and see other things that XLOOKUP can do. Now we have this information here, and we have scores for 2 months, January and February. Now if you're using the VLOOKUP, you notice that each time you have a name appearing twice, or a particular unique value appearing twice, VLOOKUP will report only the first one. But if you're using XLOOKUP, you have a choice to say report the later name or report the earlier one. So in this case now we have the same students for the month of January and February. Now we already know that when I did this, all I'm saying is if you check here, I've highlighted the whole of this data, which is January down to December, January down to February. So if I pick any one, it's going to take only the month of January, because January appears first before February. So if you check now, I have Uzochukwu Ekene, which is his first name, and the system has reported these particular scores. But if you look down, you will see that in February we also have this same candidate. Now, why did the system pick only the January and not below? Because what we've done, we've assumed that we are looking at these figures from top to bottom, which is also a requirement for XLOOKUP. But what if we want the scores in February? We'll be telling XLOOKUP, search for the later scores and not the first score. Now we are going to come to how we can do that. Let me delete here. So I'll come here. Let me just copy this same scores, these addresses here, and I come here. I'm going to say equal to XLOOKUP. So it's asking me lookup value. Of course, we know this is my lookup value. The next thing is lookup array. It hasn't changed. This is still my lookup array. Now the next thing is return array. My return array also hasn't changed. So this is still my return array for all the subjects. Now the next thing is if not found. Assuming that number is not found, just give us a space. So I can do something like this. Give us a space. And I take this. Now of course I want the exact match. So I'm taking 0. Now look at the last argument. I want it to search from the bottom so that I can pick February. So I'm going to select this. Search last to first, which means it's going to pick February figure before January. So I select that and I close my bracket and I press my enter. Now look at the same candidate. This particular section has reported the scores for the month of February. Let's look at the scores. The score for the month of February: 21, 34, 52, and 21. That's the scores that are reported here. Now, this is one very fine feature of the XLOOKUP, which other lookup functions have not actually addressed before now. Let's change that name and see. Fine, you can see this is this person's score for January. This is the score for the month of February. We'll just leave this for now, and in the next video we'll see another example of XLOOKUP. Thank you very much for listening. Bye bye.